I'm going to put my feet up.
Do you have anybody in yet?
No.
Do you want to take anything particular drink tonight?
Hi, Lisa. How's everything going today? Excuse me. We're having a very busy day, and I'm probably going to have to cut it short today just because we're going to a friend's wedding party. She and her spouse got married in front of a justice of the peace, maybe today, I don't know. But we're going to a little celebration. So I guess the viewer feedback thing from the grocery store thing went pretty good, huh? I found myself just absolutely shocked. That video has over 6,000 views. It's crazy. And then the viewer response videos were really fun to do as well. I think my next video, though, Jeff was unable to get out and do the farmer's market in Perpignan because apparently they had really high, crazy winds. So he's going to have to wait to do that. So I'll just save my farmer's market footage so that he and I can collab on comparing our farmer's market. Hi, Jean-Marc. So this Tuesday, I think my video is going to be about the new proposal in the French government for Americans to pay a certain fee per year for French healthcare, which I think is a really great idea and will stop the press from rage baiting and from propagandizing the thing to make people angry with Americans. Americans want to pay into the system. Wow, Jean-Marc, that's -2 degrees at the moment in France. And you're outside of Bordeaux, right?
What's that, about 28 Fahrenheit?
So that's below freezing here. Fahrenheit, that's about probably 28 degrees. 32 is freezing here. So we are having an absolutely gorgeous
No, it's hot.
day. In fact, it's almost hot. It's in the 70s and
It's hot.
It's sunny and it's insanely different for the end of November. Yes, Lisa, that's one of the reasons I think I'm going to do a video about it. I saw, I've lost his name, that French Connections HCB did. I forget his name. Really nice guy. But yes, he did an interview and he thought he was going into that interview to talk about the process of Americans being able to get visas to come to France. And instead, the journalist just jumped all over him and tried to shout over him and interrupted him when he was trying to explain to them that, no, we don't get free healthcare and we're not coming over here bragging that, ooh, we're going to go to France so we can get free healthcare. That's not so. And they just didn't want to listen because they want clicks, they want views. So that dude just kept shouting at him, which was annoying. I mean, Jean-Marc, I agree with you and I understand. I just feel that all of the press propagandizing all of this stuff, it's good in my view as an American because I want to pay into the system. I want to pay my fair share. And if I'm going to be using the system, I should be paying into it. And if we decide just to keep our private insurance, then we'll pay into that. So I feel that it's probably a good thing because then it's not on the backs of the French people to have been paying in for 40 years
keep in mind, we know what it's like to have the healthcare system collapse.
And we know what it's like here in America to have the healthcare system collapse. And I just really would like to be able to pay in and help. Damien, that's an interesting thought too, that you said there are too few Americans as it is to make any difference in the system. I don't think it's an issue with anybody except the press yelling about it and making people angry about it. I've had several people kind of trolling my comments, talking about it and saying, you're only coming here for the healthcare, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, oh, shut up. You don't know then. If we were only leaving this country for good healthcare, there are 50 other countries we could go to and get better healthcare. So that might even be cheaper than here, including places like Albania, including other places in Europe. So France is where we dream to be and where we want to be. But these members of the press, both in America, they do the same thing here. Now that they're owned corporate entities, and they make their money mostly through YouTube, through people clicking, through being clickable, they get more and more and more and more shouty about it. And then people who watch them think, oh, is that really happening? And then they get mad. And we call it here in America, we call it rage baiting. So who've we got? We've got Lisa, Jean-Marc, Damien. Okay. So hi, y'all. Just wanted to, Richard. Thank you, Lisa. The HBC guy is named Richard. Yes. I've been so much connecting more with Fabian at Fab French lately that I keep forgetting what Richard's name is because I started watching his videos. But they're a little out of my price range. Let's see. Jean-Marc, I'm not sure what you mean by not wanting to fall victim to American tax. I'm not sure what that means. I'm studying what the bill is that they're trying to push through and pass. It hasn't passed yet. It's just part of their package that they're getting ready to try to pass. I appreciate that, Damien. I always just want people to know that the problem is this press member, he didn't want to hear that, Americans aren't saying I'm going to go to France because the healthcare is free and I'm going to, ride on the backs of French people. This journalist was trying really hard to say that where he wasn't listening to Richard, who was saying, no, that's not the case. They're saying, oh my gosh, it's so much less money to get our health cared for in France. Out of pocket is cheaper there. Not even using any insurance is cheaper in France than over here having insurance, paying high costs for insurance. It's still more expensive here to pay the copays than it is to just pay out of pocket in France. Jean-Marc, your American passport has run out, so you're scared at the moment. Are you worried that you're going to get deported from France? Or are you worried that if it's run out relatively early, I don't think you have to be over here to get it renewed.
Last year.
If it's run out if you've gone past a year, yes, you would have to get it redone. But you can renew your passport with just a 2-inch by 2-inch photo and your passport sent to the American Passport Agency if you need to renew it. I don't think you have to be on American soil to do that. Yes, Damien, I agree with you. France is a collective nation. You're better off for your neighbors being in good health. And that's the difference between healthcare here in the United States and healthcare in a place like France, is that France is concerned with preventative healthcare, preventing people from getting sick in the first place, preventing people from needing to have big giant procedures, and being in good health is cheaper for everybody. Yeah. Bonjour, Lainey. Just FYI, everyone, I have to duck out early today because we're going to a wedding party. And as you can see, I am nowhere near dressed for that kind of thing. So it's 3:11 my time. So probably about 3:30 or 3:40, I'll be saying, see you later. Yes, Lainey, we're talking about Richard's video about those press members just jumping all over his crap. And the fact that I think I'm going to, my Tuesday video is usually kind of an informative what's going on here with me, but also differences between here and France, what's going on over there that concerns us because we haven't filled out paperwork for our visas yet. And excuse me, God, my goodness. I'm really glad that he did that follow-up video too, because it really, I didn't realize that other news outlets outside of American news outlets and UK news outlets too got so sensationalist with their stuff. But I guess it doesn't matter if you're owned by a corporation and you need the clicks to survive, and you need to be sensationalist and propagandist and rage bait people to get ratings. I guess it's going to happen everywhere, because that's what it looked like to me, that they were just trying to shout him down because he was making sense and they didn't want to hear that. Oh, was he? Richard was live in France just before the vote was going to take place. Now, the vote just basically put that provision into a bill that's going forward, right? I don't think it was passed like into law yet. Correct me if I'm wrong. I was looking at an article from a news thing called Relocate World, and it's talking about that French healthcare fee for immigrants. Excuse me. It's been cleaning day today here too, so I'm getting hiccups and stuff because I've freshened the carpets and the floors, and even though that helps me not to be sneezy, it smells like clean stuff now, and that makes me kind of hiccupy too. Probably breathing in chemicals. I mean, probably. Jean-Marc, you better get to it with the passport thing. I actually had to, I let my passport expire in 2019. So this last year when I went to renew it, I couldn't renew it. I had to reapply. Still send my old passport in, but I had to reapply for my new one. And but I got it. It was relatively easy, but I wanted to make sure, especially post-election day last November, that my husband and I both wanted to make sure that our passports have plenty of time on them. So we both now have 10 years ahead of us. Let's see. I missed something here. Backing up. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up here and I'm just being silent. I'm enjoying the chat in the side panel, so I keep forgetting that I'm live. I'm not waiting for someone else to get live. I need to reply. Jeff, the expat, was, we were talking on WhatsApp and I forgot to reply to him this morning. He said that they were unable to get footage at the farmer's market because of all the crazy wind and weather over there. And Jean-Marc told me it was below freezing over there today. So, Lainey, you have your 90-day rental booked in Besançon. Is that over on the east side, like east of Dijon? I feel like I remember Susie doing a video about that particular gorgeous town. Jean-Marc says it is a proposal now and it's been voted in for it to reach the next stage of the bill. So it's serious. Depends on what percentage rate this contribution will be set at. I wonder if they're going to do a percentage rate or if they're just going to do something like Italy does, which is like a 2,000 euro flat yearly amount. So it'll be interesting to see what they set it at. And with people who hold private insurance and don't want to get on the system, will they need to pay in too? Which means, why not go ahead and get what you're paying into? So it'll be interesting to see it pan out. But most of us Americans want to contribute because we know what a good deal we're getting when we get it. Let's see. 90-day rental booked in business. I'm so glad, Lainey. Glad we're doing a month-long scouting trip in February because we keep rethinking all the areas we're considering. There are so many wonderful places to live in France. Yeah, that's one thing that Dale and I have been talking about too, is that no matter where we go, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be wonderful. No matter where we end up, whether we have to go to a place where he has a job and has to be where he gets the job, or whether we can choose where we're going, it doesn't really matter. Anywhere we end up is going to be fantastic. I still am dreaming about Carcassonne, to be honest, because even though it will be more difficult not to have a car because they don't have trams, or they have buses, public transportation, and they have the train station, of course. But I just don't know if we'd be able to be there without a car. But then again, on the other hand, I'm like, we could get a super cheap car. Doesn't mean we have to get an expensive brand new car. We can buy one used if we decide to go that direction. Let's see. Is Besançon? Yes, I'm right about. Okay, so you're going in February, you say? So that'll be a really good test of whether the weather is going to be right for you over there. That's for sure. So you're moving over there mid-April, but you're not sure where yet. But you're thinking about that Alsace sort of area. Excuse me. Lisa, you can guarantee the rate will be cheaper than what we pay here. Exactly. You pay $1,900 a month and still have co-payments and deductibles. You pay $1,900. Wow,
now
Lisa.
Or next year.
Do you pay $1,900 a month starting this next year because the rates are going up, or do you pay $1,900 a month now for your insurance? Because that's crazy. My husband happens to work for a large insurance conglomerate, though he's in the IT data analysis department of things. And we still, between us, are $800 and some dollars, probably a month. And he's sitting over there, so I'm looking off that direction. But we pay that much, and we have something like a $7,000 deductible every year, and we also have the co-payments and stuff too. So imagine paying $1,900 a year for private insurance, there, or €2,000 a year if that's what they end up charging us to get on the French health plan. Either way, it's a tenth of what we pay here.
I'm still $3,000 in debt from kidney stones 3 years ago.
Yes. My husband is still $3,000 in debt from kidney stone surgeries and stuff he had 3 years ago. I still owe a little over $3,000 for a surgery I had to have in 2021. So it's crazy. It's just crazy. Medical debt here is no joke. And yes, Lainey, get over there as soon as you can before any more laws get changed. That's how we feel. We're like, please let us not be blocked from getting over there before we can get over there. We're really hoping to be over there by my birthday next year, which is May 31st, or this coming year. So Besançon, Dijon, and Tours. Yeah, the Tours area looks pretty cool too. There's somebody I watch, I've lost her name, that lives in Tours with her French husband and does some really good videos. La, 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 la. Retired early. Yeah, I'm only 59, so it's going to be a while before I can qualify for anything Medicare-like. And frankly, I don't want to have to worry about it. I want to just be able to get to France before I need to worry about that. Especially since who knows if we'll even have our Social Security income by then. I hope so. They better not mess with it, but you know. Oh, Shauna, hi. $2,100 a month if you get into the healthcare marketplace with a $10,000 deductible. That is freaking insane. And I am so sick to death that our government and government officials care more about giving $40 billion to another country, Argentina, than they care about bolstering up our healthcare here. They just don't care. It's just, I mean, as if it's not filling their pockets, they don't care. Sorry, my little rant for the moment. That's just insane, Shauna. And that's just you. That's insane. My daughter also relies on the ACA to get her health care on the marketplace. And her insurance is going to double and she's not going to be able to afford it. So she's having to make decisions now and get everything done she needs to get done now before she ends up probably losing her health insurance. Just infuriates me. Let's see. Yeah, let's hear more about Amboise. I hear you, Jean-Marc. I think that we'll just wait and see how it pans out. I wonder if maybe they'll just charge more if people are at higher risk for having higher medical problems, maybe. So I wonder if they're going to make it kind of a sliding scale, kind of like they make when you purchase a mutuelle. It really takes into account your age and your health status as to what you pay per month. Hi, Jeff. Sorry I haven't responded to you yet. I saw your post that you had crazy weather, so couldn't get to the farmer's market, but that's okay. We'll just wait on that because I'm gonna use my Tuesday this week to. I'll just hold on to my footage and we'll collaborate when we can. It's no biggie at all, and we will. I'm going to talk Tuesday, probably, I'm going to put together a video about upcoming changes to American healthcare and my views after watching Richard from French Connections HCB talk about the interview that got yelly that he was in. Shauna, nervous about potentially having to get through a physical. I feel as if I don't think they're going to go that stringent. I really just don't believe that, because most of the French, even the government, still feel that healthcare is a human right, not a privilege that the wealthy can pay. And so I think a physical is just going to simply be, did you lie to us in your visa about having some kind of serious disease or something like that? I don't think it's going to be, we're going to screen you out if you have high blood pressure or diabetes or something of that nature. Eric gets native health care through the Indian Corporation. Wow, that's cool. I didn't know he was indigenous. That's awesome. I just feel like a lot of these reporters are trying to really stir people up and get them scared. And I really feel as if I think we'll be okay. I think even if you have a condition that is continuous, like I said, diabetes or high blood pressure or cardiac issues, or my husband has asthma, pretty severe asthma. I don't think they're going to be denying us residency if we have health issues related to our age. I just don't care. And yes, Jeff said they didn't care about his history of cancer, having cancer. So, but Jeff, we're talking about they're changing the rules pretty soon. They're getting ready to change the rules for people getting healthcare inside France. I'm sure you've seen it too and know about it. Let's see. Jean-Marc, you get the visa within 5 months. You get notified of your exam. Let's see. I have resolved type 2 diabetes. I don't have it anymore, but I do, have basic issues related to my age. Right now, I'm healthier than I was 10 years ago, so hopefully that'll count in my favor. Once Macron leaves office in 2027 in France, it won't be so easy. I mean, who can project? Who can tell? It's after living in the hellscape where we are right now, to be honest, it's not a hellscape. It's not. We live in a beautiful area, in a beautiful place, and North Carolina just became my favorite adopted state because Border Patrol came in and we said nope. Let's see. Chrissy has a pacemaker, so we're concerned mostly for her. Again, I just don't think that they're going to concern themselves because, I mean, Chrissy has a pacemaker, so she's got the implement in place to help with her heart. My mom has a pacemaker too. I just feel as if we just need to breathe and wait, because I don't think it's going to be all that. I really just don't. The French and the EU have just a completely different attitude about people's right to health care, and humanity seems a little bit more collective there in the EU than it is here in America, where everybody's everybody for themselves. My individual freedoms are more important than community freedoms, whereas it's opposite over there. So I hope I'm right too. I'm trying not to worry too much about it until we get to that point, but I feel as if there are a lot of people out there fear baiting and rage baiting and trying to stir up stuff for clicks And we really just need to look at what the government is saying and look at what they're voting on and what they're doing, and make sure we're not just freaking out. But I have an anxiety disorder, so I do not want to freak out about anything else. I'm just going to be like, you know what? I'm going to be blissfully okay until we know exactly what they decide. Let's see. Jeff, as far as I've seen, they're only looking to charging a fee for access to the healthcare system if you're on a long stay visitor visa. If you come over with profession liberal type visa, it does not apply. Is that because if you come over on a profession liberal type visa, you're paying into the system with your income? I'm hoping that's so, because I'll be paying in because I'm coming over on a profession liberal visa. Let's see. Lainey, that's the best way to be. We can't change anything. Yeah, I mean, after all the tumult and turmoil that has gone on here for the last several decades, I just feel like, yes, I know things can look weird, especially in France with all the tumult going on with prime ministers and with Macron and with people tilting further right or slightly further left. But it's nothing. Your far right is not our far right. Our far right is the Project 2025 people, the people who want to make Christian nationalism our government, a theocracy of Christian nationalism our government. And so it's a little, and I'm looking at it from the outside. So I don't know, maybe things look scarier when you're in it. Okay, thanks, Jeff. That's what I want. That's what I know. And yes, it's comforting to know that if one of us does get cancer or have a serious health issue, we won't end up in bankruptcy. I was watching an interview with a woman who, she and her husband immigrated to France and had been there for like 10 days when her husband had a stroke, a massive stroke. And their insurance that they were paying for, their private healthcare insurance, did not account for or pay for long-term hospitalization after a stroke. So he was in the hospital for something like 3 months, and he was in rehab for another, I think it's 2 months, and then a month in rehab facility. And she was scared that they were going to go bankrupt because of that entire hospital stay, and their savings would be completely gone that they were planning on being over there and retiring on. And it ended up the whole bill for 3 months of care after a stroke turned out to be something like $10,000 total, or 10,000 euro total, but euro and dollars were closer then to each other. And so they did not go bankrupt. Heck, I have to pay $10,000 copay if I have a big surgery like that, or something like that happens, which is why I still owe about $3,500 to UNC Hospital Complex because of a surgery I had almost 5 years ago. That's nice to know, Jeff, that you spent probably 15 minutes with the OFII folks. And that was one of the things that Richard was talking about as well when he was trying to discuss it, when he did his review of that reporter yelling, the yelly review. I'm going to start calling it. Jean-Marc, I just don't think it's going to change. I just don't. You said if you get cancer during your long stay visa, you'll get treated as it's a human right in France for the moment, unless it changes. I don't think it's going to change because of that knowledge that health is a basic human right, that medical care is a basic human right. And I seriously doubt anybody in the EU is going to change their tune on that. Then I suppose, Jean-Marc, that we will make sure we end up in a prefecture that other people have said is not so mean. Let's see. I mean, there still are legal parameters for some places, but I could see a prefecture that was in a place that was especially more medical deserty, like doesn't have enough doctors for the people, doesn't have enough specialists in the area. But I would hope if somebody coming over that has a chronic health condition, like say, Sean, I've lost her name, Chrissy. Yeah, Chrissy. I always forget Chrissy's. I don't know why I forget Chrissy's. I forget people's names. I know their faces forever and ever. But I would think that we're doing the research anyway. So Chrissy has a pacemaker, so she's definitely going to want to live somewhere that has good health care and that has cardiologists where she can get that specialty care. So I can see them charging a fee. I don't see them changing the coverage for people on long stay visas. I think I agree with you, Jeff. I think that they're probably, I said before you got here, they're probably going to go the way of Italy. Italy charges something like 2,000 euro a year for people to be on their healthcare system. And I'm willing to do that when we're paying that amount in 2 months' time instead of a year here. So your OFII office, Jeff, was in Montpellier. That's on my list of places to look at to live in the near future. My next one is Avignon, but I'm doing deep dives and explorations into Avignon right now. But Montpellier is on my list as well. My heart's still hanging on to La Rochelle and Carcassonne, though. No. Yet, Jeff says, as long as they then get rid of the requirement to have 1 year private coverage for the initial visa. I'm not sure they'll do that. I think they'll just require you to pay that amount once you apply for the carte vitale, is what my understanding is. But who knows? Once you apply and receive the carte vitale, then I would think that the extra cost would kick in. But again, who knows? They haven't fully voted on it yet. It's just been voted on to go into a vote and talk about it. So we shall see what we shall see. As we know, French bureaucracy moves slowly. So problem is, what about long stay visa renewals, charging a fee then? Again, if you're on a long stay visa and you're renewing that long stay visa, I would think that the charge for everyone would kick in. So again, I'm going on a profession liberale visa. Shauna is also going on a profession liberale visa, I think, aren't you, Shauna? But we'll be paying into the system anyway. So as far what Jeff said, it won't apply because we have the method and the ability to pay in our percentage. Yeah, Jeff, I feel the same way about Montpellier and anything down on the Mediterranean. I want to look at Narbonne. I want to look at these places, but I don't mind too sunny, which is why I'm looking at La Rochelle because they get a lot of sunshine. But I want a milder climate than Southwest France and the south of France. Avignon's going to be too hot too, probably, but I'm still looking there because it's got a tram, but also it's it's nice and it has sunniness. My husband will be either going on a work visa if he gets hired by a company that has offices within France, or he will go on a if he gets a remote work for an American company and just can work from over there, then he will be on a visitor visa, which means he'll have to pay that fee, and he's okay with that. If and I will be on my um, profession liberale visa. Yeah, I thought so, Shauna, that you had talked about going in on a profession liberale visa. Amboise. Narbonne is cute, but just buses and smaller than Perpignan. Yeah, I get that. Um, the only reason I saw Narbonne as a thought was that I still, like, as I said, I still really dream about Carcassonne. I know it's been so hot in the summers, and I know it's just things are just going to get weirder with climate change. It's just a little piece of my heart is there already. So it's going to be weird not going there first. And I don't think we will. I think we'll just go visit once we've decided where to end up. Once you get 5 years in, says Jeff, you can apply for the 10-year residency card, and that allows you to work and no longer need to pay whatever fee they decide on. Oh, that's interesting to know. Um, I'll be operating my own business, and hopefully I'll be making enough money with my own business that they won't deny me uh, a multi-year visa after my first year. I've been following Patricia in the Courage Catalyst a bit because she got her profession liberale visa, and her first year she wasn't quite making what the requirement was, so she thought they were going to boot her off, but it ends up they saw that she was making more and more each time, and she still had her savings to pay her bills, so they granted her like a 3 or 4 year uh, visa to keep going with that business, even though she wasn't quite meeting their requirements after a year. So there is some flexibility there. I'm hoping I'm meeting the income requirements before I even leave this country, but I don't know. Oh, and I got 500 subscribers this week. Yay! Only a few hundred legit viewing hours to go, and I can hit that 500, 3,000 hours level. Let's see. Looks like a good area. Just wondering about life there. Amboise. Why is Amboise better than Tours? Is it just more pretty and more less industrial highways and stuff? Just curious. Yeah, Jeff, Patricia had that happen a few years ago. They may be clamping down on that more now. We'll see when we get there. If my husband ends up getting a work visa, because he gets a job for a French company, that'll be great for me because anybody coming in as a spouse of someone with a work visa can get any old visa and still do what we want to do, still make our money in any way that we can make our money. So if he gets a work visa, I can just get a regular old visitor visa and still be able to conduct business. Most of my business will be online or bringing people over in tourism groups. So I won't be beating any French people out of work. Great tip from Jean-Marc. Jeff, great tip. I was told to sit it out for the 5 years as I'm too young, then get to work, but have to pass the language test. We're definitely working on the language here. And thanks, Jeff. I think it's really cool. I've only had this channel for like 4 months and I got 500. Yay. And I've had my art channel for 5 years and only have 640 some subscribers there. But the problem is I don't have enough viewing hours because I kind of let it go dormant for a while. I went back to teaching high school. And wow, Jean-Marc, Tours is a dump, or just the parts of Tours that you see as you're driving through Tours? Amboise Tours for comfort and mild climate. Dijon for culture and elegance. Dijon is so clean, isn't it, Lainey? It's just every time I see Susie do a thing, I look around and I'm like, wow, it's just so clean. It's sparkling. And they do have a lot of really good cultural events. That's actually one of the reasons I'm looking at Avignon. Is it's probably too hot. It's probably too far south, but it has a tram and it has a lot of cultural events that happen year round. It also has a lot of tourists, just like some other places I've looked at. But, you know, my business kind of half relies on tourists. Lainey says you were there in September and really liked Dijon. I like Dijon, but Susie and I have been talking, and she agrees that I probably would not be happy there because of the gray winters. I would get seasonal affective disorder just by January. I'd be like, no, I'm done. But then, you know, maybe in January, then I could take a little trip south, get a little sun. I just don't even know where we're going to end up yet. I'm looking at places that have more sun, but not as much. Gosh, sorry for the wiggle on my laptop. More sun, but not as much. I lost my train because ADHD happened. Not as much hot. Although, even though the summers are hot there, how long does the hot last? I know this year was an exception, though it might not be going forward with climate change. But I know that here in North Carolina, it gets hot by the end of April. Hot and humid all year long. And while it may rain, it's still hot. This year we had an unusually cool and rainy August, which is shocking because usually from the end of April, beginning of May to the end of September, beginning of October is hot. It's summer. So yes, Lainey, I have watched Austin to Amboise. They haven't done a lot of videos lately, but I have watched them. It's interesting that they're going back and forth with the townhouse. It's kind of fun. Let's see. I also watch a fun one, which is the Chateau Diaries, which British woman named Stephanie bought a big chateau called Lalande. And while I never, ever, ever, ever want to buy and have to redo a chateau, It's very fun to watch, and she's very engaging, and so are the people in her videos that live there. Austin to Amboise is interesting too. They just don't do a lot of videos. Oh, yes, I know she's looking for other artsy people to do classes when she opens her studio. Um, I don't know that we'll be living very close to where they are. I don't know that we'll be that close to Amboise. Also, there's another Manor and Maker, I think is what it's called, that has a chateau that they've redone. And they also do really cool, nerdy, geeky retreats and stuff. And it sounds like great fun that they have too there. But there are a lot more retreat centers and chateaus and stuff like that that are starting to open up for creative retreats because they see that that's in demand. I actually will probably choose small boutique hotels to book out instead, to have like that have only like 10 or 12 rooms, and I can just book the whole little boutique hotel out. Um, Partly because then everybody has their own individual room and their own individual bathroom, and people like that. They don't want to have to share a bathroom when they're on a retreat that's costing them good money. They want to feel luxury. But if I do sketching tours, I will probably need some kind of base, some kind of place to meet. I'm thinking of maybe finding an artsy, craftsy business that's already established in a town and making a deal with them to start my tours with them so that people will buy the products they need to go out sketching from the place that is the creative business. But I don't know yet. I'm not sure what it's going to look like yet. So we'll see. The heat waves hit in June here in France this year. July, August were warm with periodic heat waves, but nothing catastrophic. Yeah. And that's, to me, that's the difference is, yes, it gets hot there, but not for as long. Here in North Carolina, from May to September, you walk outside and you get hit in the face and can barely breathe because it feels like you've been wrapped in a big, hot, wet blanket. Jean-Marc says we had some Canadians buy the house across the street, sight unseen. The house sold in 4 days. The property market is moving fast here. Yeah, it is. Luckily, rents aren't going up as fast, and we plan on renting. Oh, goodness, you all. It's 3:53. I said I was going to get off by 3:30 or 3:40 because we're going to a wedding party, and I haven't even gotten ready yet. This is not ready for a sparkly, festive occasion. So I'm going to have to cut it short today and start saying my goodbyes because I need to go get ready. Yes, Lainey, the heat in Tampa Bay is very similar. I lived in Pensacola for a little while, and it just ugh. And in St. Augustine for a little while. It's just, yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for telling me to have fun. Coco, right? Foraging for Coco. But I'm sorry, I have to go, but I will have fun and report back. And I'll see you all. Well, I'll see you all next Saturday. But in the meanwhile, I'm so glad to have met all of you. I'm so enjoying this community, and you guys rock. And I hope to see you again soon and keep on talking. Okay. Jeff, I am going to be in Virginia tomorrow night. I meant to tell you, visiting a friend who's moving. She and her husband and their horses and everyone are moving to Nova Scotia. So I'm going to visit her tomorrow afternoon, and I will be there during your live. So I'm so sorry. I'm going to miss your live this time, but I will be there next week. And I'm sure you'll have plenty of people, not me, in there. You always have a good group. Well, I'd kind of like to say goodbye to them before they move to Nova Scotia, you know. Plus, she speaks fluent French, so we can have conversations. And thank you, Shauna. I think we'll have a good time. They already got married at a justice of the peace, so we just get to go to the party, which is always my favorite kind of wedding. The party part. Okay. I'll see you all later. Bye. Thanks for coming. Go to